The citizens of Iran are, man, protesting in the streets. It's getting worse day after day. And let me tell you right now, I blame Donald Trump for those protests. I'll come back to that in a bit. Let's talk about what has brought us to this point. So it began when Trump ordered the killing of the Iranian general, terrorist guy, Salami. So he was fried, pardon the pun. And then Iran retaliated, sending missiles from Iran over to one of our bases in Iraq. Fortunately, no one was hurt. Then, in the midst of this, a Ukrainian airline is accidentally shot down. Now, at first, everybody just blamed Trump automatically. But then Iran had to say, you know what? We actually did this, but it was an accident. And honestly, I believe that. I mean, there were 176 passengers who died. Almost half of those were Iranian citizens. So, this just reminds you that their military is not that great. So if you're worried about World War III or some war breaking out, rest at ease tonight. Believe me, it's not going to happen. But I'm intrigued by the crazy, twisted thinking and interpretation of facts that our own people can do with this stuff. It's incredible that you could blame our president for shooting down that plane. Now, the mullahs, of course, of Iran, the regime, they blame Trump. At first, they would love to have set his fingerprints on the button, but then they had to admit that they did it, so they just blame him because he started the whole thing. But also, you come in America, the New York Times readers overwhelmingly have sent in their messages that they blame Trump for the downing of this airliner. Then the presidential candidate, Pete Buttigieg. I mean, he's a veteran. I thought, obviously he's not going to be supportive of Trump, but it would at least be understanding. Nope. He even went further to blame America for this. I've listened to this progressive radio talk show host for years, Tom Hartman. I appreciate him. I like him. I read his books. He teaches me a lot of stuff. But he's off his bones on this thing. He literally came out and said that not only is Trump to blame for all of this, this should be another article of impeachment. I kid you not. But then the worst of all is Representative Jackie Speier, Democrat from California. She literally sits on two committees, the Intelligence Committee and the Armed Services Committee. And she said that Donald Trump is to blame. I mean, how could you vote for her? And I respect her. She was shot 5 times at the Jonestown Massacre back in 1978. Took Leo Ryan's seat. Doesn't matter. This is idiotic. I mean, what's wrong with people? Now, I want to go back to this one point. I do blame Trump for the protesters in the street, but do you realize they are not protesting him? His name is nowhere. They are protesting the evil regime, the mullahs, this Islamic Republic that has just been a pain in our butt for 40 years. Finally, we see something happening that we have longed for. And guess what? Trump can be blamed. Hey, Trump can be thanked. Way to go, Don.